Hello and welcome everyone to day 4 of the New Year, New You, Make 2025 Your Breakthrough Year Challenge. I have been talking about Bharat Maharaj's story. That's been our reference point. And from that, from his story over 3 lifetimes, we're drawing different lessons in this challenge. And I hope that you are making notes and I hope that you are incorporating those different points on the first day, I shared 6 steps to creating a grand vision for 2025 and grand achievable vision for 2025. And then on the next day, I talked about how Bharat Maharaj, gets into the forest mode and then how he loses focus. So then we talked about managing distractions and 4 ways, 4 steps to take so that you can manage your distractions. Make it a part of your planning in 2025. And then yesterday, I talked about being focused. How can you stay focused? And we talked about different points. We talked about how Bharat Maharaj lost focus and then how he took the birth in the body of a deer. That was on day 2. But on day 3, we talked about him being as a deer and then how he decided not to distract himself, even if he was born on some distant location. He left that place and came back to the ashram where he was trying to cultivate his spirituality in his previous life, and he decided to stay completely focused, and he burned his karma in that situation. And because of his good karma in his previous life, he was able to remember his previous lifetime. He could remember his follies, and he decided that no, this lifetime I'm going to stay completely focused. Even if there was repentance, even if there was that realization that I missed the boat. I missed the boat. He couldn't do much because in the body of a deer, there is not much scope to cultivate one's consciousness and to do certain activities for one's consciousness and for one's upliftment of one's consciousness that the human life affords. Yes. So then he departs, like, at the end of his life as the body of a deer, he leaves that body. And then because of, again, of his good karma, he is born again as a human. And this time he is born as Jada Bharat. So today we're going to talk about Jada Bharat's story, and today and tomorrow, because there's a lot of unpacking that needs to happen in this in that life, in his third life. See, imagine somebody who's not, like, you meet somebody who's gone through some setbacks and then they've learned and then they're trying to come back up again. They're very realized people, and we love talking to them, we love learning from them, and therefore these podcasts do really well because we want to learn from people's stories, right? And these are stories of maybe a decade or two. But imagine learning from someone like Bharat, who was a king in one lifetime, became a deer in the second lifetime, and then is born as, again, as a human in the third lifetime, but without the opulence of the king, without any of those trappings. And he decides not to trap himself in anything. So it's going to be so interesting to learn from someone who's gone through 2 lifetimes and has made some mistakes and is trying to come back up again. And imagine how solid his focus would be, and so much to learn from that. So today, the topic is about how can you stay focused like Bharat Maharaj, and how can you continue um, doing, how you can refocus and stay focused, right? So let's get to that. So in the third life, in Bharat, King Bharat's third life, he's born as Bharat, Jada Bharat. They didn't name him Jada Bharat, but Jada means somebody who's not so smart, who's not so intelligent. But actually, Jada Bharat was one of the most intelligent people, right? So he was born in a very learned family of the priestly class, the Brahmin class, and he had more siblings also, and right from his birth, and as he was growing up, his father tried to teach him, the prayers, the Vedic mantras, so many different things, and especially the Gayatri mantra. And then his father would try to teach him that mantra, and he would ask him to repeat. Bharat would not repeat, or Bharat would say, "Oh, come on, say, chant Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha," and he would go, mm, Bhuaswa, Bhuaswa. Like, he won't say it properly. Even if he knows it really well and he's got it the first time, he won't say it properly because he was of the opinion that if he said it, and his father would think like, wow, my son is really sharp, sharper than the others. Let me teach him more. And then he would be engaged more and more in that. And then he would get entangled. He would be known as a very learned and a very intelligent person. And then the entire world would want to interact with him. And then also he wanted to show himself as a developmentally challenged person who was did not speak much, didn't understand much, who was foolish. And because then he didn't want to get married, because if he grew up as a normal human being, then he would have to get married, and then he would get distracted in his goals because he's getting married. And I'm not talking that marriage is bad or showing up as an intelligent person is bad, or none of those things are bad. But for Bharat Maharaj's goals, for Jada Bharat's goals, what he wanted to do was one pointed focus on the Supreme Lord, and his spiritual success. He was making necessary arrangements so that he can remain focused. Now, those were the necessary arrangements that he made. Your necessary arrangements for staying focused in your goals would be different, right? So let's not take the point of renouncing family life or renouncing our duties, etc., and abandoning them so that we can stay focused. Let's take the lesson that I need to give up on certain things that may be attractive to me so that I can stay on course. Yes. So let's take that lesson, right? Because we're not at that very evolved state of Bharat Maharaj, and he's doing that because he has a higher purpose. We have to act according to our level, and that's about taking care of the six buckets of life that I keep talking about, which is yourself, your spirituality, your relationships, your career, your wealth, and your wellness. Right? These are the six buckets of life that we help people who come to us, and we help them learn how to manage these six buckets. And I talked a lot about that on day one. And for those of you who want to catch up, the link to the entire playlist is there wherever you're watching. You're going to get see it in the description, right? So now Bharat Maharaj, he's able to remember his activities in the previous lifetime. By again, that's by the blessing of the Lord and the good karma that he has, right? And he's like, no, I really want to stay focused. And you'll be like, oh, I also want to remember the activities of my previous lifetime. For us, we can remember the activities of this lifetime and see how we've, not been able to stay on course, and lessons learned from that, and then how we can stay focused to stay on course. Yes. So Bharat Maharaj, he doesn't want to be influenced by society. He wants to continue where he left off, when he had left off in the forest, but he got distracted by his attachment to his deer when he was King Bharat, right? So he just wants to stay focused, and he is acting like a madman, right? And while his parents were alive, they took care of him, they gave him food, they did all those things, and he never even asked for things, right? Like, so if he was given food, great. If it wasn't given to him, great. He wasn't even concerned about the taste of the food or his likings and dislikings and things like that, right? He was just completely detached from everything. And we are not at that stage. We have a lot of desires, a lot of needs, a lot of feelings, and it's best that we honor them, acknowledge them, honor them, and keep working towards our goals. Yes. So Bharat Maharaj, to stay focused, Jada Bharat, to stay focused, he was doing these activities. Once his brother asked him, like his step brothers and mother, because he was like doing nothing. And like, imagine you have an adult male in the house who does nothing to contribute to the family, does nothing contribute to any family duties, is just sitting and eating, just existing and things like that. It can be very annoying for other family members. So his step brothers, they and his mother, they tell him that he needs to at least guard the paddy field at night. You can't do anything intelligent, you can't count money, you can't do anything. At least just sit over there and guard the paddy field so that the birds don't come, right? And he does that, but he doesn't do that really well. Even there, he thinks that, oh, all these birds are coming, let them eat the food, it's all God's creation and everyone can eat. And also, he's at a very highly evolved spiritual level. So his brothers get really upset. And then, and one night it so happens that there are, he's like this fit young man, a beautiful looking man. He's sitting over there, uh, right in the night. And then there are these dacoits, something like something like these thieves who, like the band of thieves who, just move around and then they catch people, and for their own benefits, and they thieve, they loot them, they plunder and things like that, right? So they see this fully, beautiful, able-bodied, strong-bodied man sitting over there, and they capture him. And they capture him because they want to do a sacrifice to goddess Kali, and they want to do a human sacrifice. They want to, offer him as the sacrifice. They're looking for a fit male, and he fit all the criteria that were required at that time. And of course, human sacrifices don't happen now. They're not recommended for this day and age. They're not considered good for this day and age. So they take him over there, and they keep getting him ready, getting him prepared for that human sacrifice. And um, and then what happens is that when they're trying to do the sacrifice, and they bring him before goddess Kali, to Bhadrakali, to sacrifice him, the goddess comes out of the deity form, and she protects him from being sacrificed. And she actually kills those dacoits. She actually, beheads them instead of him getting beheaded, because she's like, how dare you do this to someone, and especially someone who is a great devotee of the Lord, cultivating his spirituality, has nothing to do with the world. Such a good soul, such a good person, such a spiritually evolved person. How could you do something like that to him? Right? So she comes out of the deity, takes a chopper, and kills all the dacoits over there, and then some of them run away. And all this while, as you can see in this picture, Jada Bharat is sitting unaffected. He's sitting in gratitude to Goddess Kali, and he's just unaffected by what's happening. So he's at that like really high stage that, okay, nothing, no matter what's happening in my environment, even if I'm getting killed right now, I'm going to stay focused on my goal. And my goal is that, yes, I want to remember God at the time of death. So even if all this is happening, I'm going to stay focused on my goal, right? So he's very, very clear about what's important for him, and he's very focused on that. Yes. Now, are you at that stage? I'm not even talking about his spiritual stage, but can you be so focused on your goal that you learn how to filter out everything that's non essential around you? What people say, how people hurt you, the judgment you have that you experience, how there's a setback, and then you don't take it personally, but you get back up again, and then you go ahead in life. Like, are you at that stage? That's a question to ask for yourself, because you've joined this 5-day program, and you're considering that you're going to learn lessons from now, and like from this session, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to practice these things in your life, right? Now, are you at that stage? And if you're not at that stage, what do you need to do to get to that stage? Like yesterday, uh, I think yesterday or the day before, I talked about how, yeah, yesterday I talked about how it's not the distractions that are attracting you, it's basically the weaknesses or the vulnerabilities. And I told you to name it, right? Like whatever those weaknesses are in those 6 areas of your life. I have some needs, I have some inner scripts. People must behave nicely to me. I must be perfect in what I do. I must be extremely successful in what I do. Now, when you're trying to have that mindset and you're not successful the first time, uh, and if you don't have it in you to readjust and come back up again, you won't be able to make progress. Like I had this, I don't do this anymore, so don't reach out to me for this. And there are reasons I don't do it anymore. Is there was this parents who reached out to me for their teenager, 17-year-old, who was um, had stopped going to school for the last 1.5 years, right? And then they asked me to help out, and I knew them for a very long time, and I said, okay, fine, I'll take her on and I'll try to help her out as much as I can, but I can't promise results, right? And as I was going through the whole discovery process with this thing, and I was trying to make my hypothesis about what's going on with the client. Of course, we make our hypothesis, but then with every session we keep editing our hypothesis as we learn more and more, right? So what I figured is that this child was extremely good at math, and then she took advanced AP classes, advanced math classes, right? I think it's called AP program in Seattle. And then she took that program, but she wasn't able to do extremely well in that, as in she wasn't like the class topper in those classes. So because she wasn't the best, she couldn't get over it. She couldn't face it. She couldn't accept herself for not being the topmost in the class, and she just gave up school completely. She went into anxiety. She started getting treated for anxiety and depression. And like one of the things I noticed was that her parents were like, she doesn't wake up on time. She doesn't wake up on time. I said, because she doesn't have the courage to face the world. But that's her mindset. And you would be like, okay, so big deal. You're not number one. That's okay. Right. But for her, that was so important. That was her inner script that took away her focus from the goal. So are you seeing? Are you seeing what I'm saying? And then she was like, "Oh, how will I face people? What would they think? They would think that I'm not as smart. They would, and nobody's thinking anything. Nobody has time to think about you as much as you think that they think about you, right? Nobody has that time." But she was thinking like that, and she wasn't able to come out. Now imagine Jada Bharat here in his third lifetime. People are spitting at him. People are giving him any kind of food to eat. People are misbehaving with him. His own family doesn't treat him really well, but he doesn't care. He's focused on his goal. Now, can you work? He has worked on all those inner scripts. This is his third lifetime, right? And so he's not affected by those things. But we sit with a lot of trigger buttons. We sit with a lot of things that can, our buttons can be pushed and we can get distracted, right? And we can lose focus and we can get lost in that, or there can be pleasure trips that happen, right? So the pleasure trips that are there, like, oh, okay, I think and then all of this popular culture puts in a lot of these different things in our head. Is that, oh, I worked so hard, I deserve a break. Okay, you deserve a break, and then the deserve a break is what? Like, how are you keeping up with the Jonases, right? Like, how are you doing? um how are you going out? Did you go out skiing? Like, what do you do for Christmas? What is your Did you go for a New Year party? Or like, if it's for Indians, if it's Diwali, like, what was the new stuff you got at home? Or like, what was your Diwali dress? And did we put Nowadays it's all about pictures. So you're like, and I'm seeing like so many people putting out those family Christmas pictures, and then they do that for Diwali and things like that also, right? So it's nice to celebrate and it's nice to have that joy, but then it's a lot of distractions that keep pulling us in different directions. And you have to think about, how is what I am doing right now helping me get closer to my goal? Jada Bharat had learned how to ask that question to himself, because he missed two lifetimes in achieving his goal, and therefore he was really careful, right? So how is this activity going to help me achieve my goal, is a question we all need to ask for ourselves, right? So now, are you at that stage? Can you remain focused at your goal in spite of your life being in danger? That's what we're saying, Bharat Maharaj. But here we are like, my reputation is in danger, my fun is in danger, um, how somebody is behaving with me is in danger, my beauty is in danger. Like a lot of stuff we are focused on, and we get distracted and we get pulled into those directions. And that's what that prevents us from staying refocused and staying on the course. And tomorrow, when we learn more about his story, we'll see like, he's such a learned man, but he has no desire even to show that, right? So we're like, there's so much about our identity that we're trying to push out in the world because we want to feel like we're worth something, right? And because of that, we get distracted, right? How dare you treat me like that? How dare you behave like this with me, right? And a lot of times when I have clients coming to me, and when I'm coaching them, and when my team and together we're coaching them, and sometimes we're brainstorming together about how do we help this client go from point A to point B. There are two things that we find really help, so that they're not distracted by all of these non-essentials. One thing is to have an extremely clear and important goal, and the second thing is, um, to be that goal needs to be important to them, and completely connected to them, and they need to be so busy. Actually, it's not just having a goal, right? It's about being busy executing that goal. And I have seen that thousands of times, unlimited number of times with all my clients, and I've seen that in my life too. When you have a very, very clear vision of what you want to do, and you like it, and you're busy executing it, everything else is like background noise. You don't even hear it. It's like when you're in a plane and there's this whizzing sound, right? And that puts me to sleep. that just like even before like the plane takes off, that sound puts me to sleep, right? But in the plane, you're not focused on that sound. You're not thinking like, oh, that sound's bothering me. When will they stop the sound? When will this happen? This you just get used to it because I'm focused on getting my sleep and I'm focused on going from point A to point B. Right. So when you're so focused and so consumed by your goal, all of this becomes like background noise and it actually helps you sleep well. Just like I sleep so well on the plane, right? Now, some of you may not sleep so well on the plane, but I guess you get the drift of what I'm trying to tell you, right? So everything becomes background noise because you don't even have time to process and fight what somebody is saying or what somebody is doing, or you don't even have time to sit down and cry over the setbacks or cry over the failures that are happening in your life or cry over the betrayals or cry over the cheating or whatever. You're just observing it, you're understanding it, you're learning from it, and you're like, I don't have time for this, let me dust this off and let me refocus and let me stay committed here, right? So now, can you, this is a question for you to ask yourself, right? You may learn a lot of points from me and you'll be like, yeah, 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 but it's very important to assess where you're at right now. Yes, where are you at right now? Are you at that stage where you can filter out all of these big and small distractions that are connected to your identity, that are connected to your ego, and that disturb you and take away your focus? Now, which stage are you at in your goal? And also, have the current methods of staying focused on your goals, of doing well in your goals, of achieving your goals helped you? Where are you at versus where do you want to be now? And you may and I'll say something really funny, and um, it's gonna bite you a little bit, but I'm doing my job here. My job is to be a coach and to help you see things. When I do this 5-day challenge, now just think about the irony of it, right? I'm doing the 5-day challenge. It's called New Year, New You 2025. Yes. And like a lot of people register for it, and then when they register for it, we send out an email for day one, then we send out an email for day two, day three, day four, right? And a lot of you are catching it on YouTube or wherever you're watching this. You haven't registered for it, but it's being streaming live and you're getting it, right? Because those who register get a few other things from us. uh, so so you're watching it, like, usually if I even look at the YouTube videos, like if I'm doing a 5-day challenge, day one will have the maximum number of views. Day two will like still have views. Day three, views start going down. Day five, it becomes a trickle. Day six, almost half, or what we have for day one. I last year, like, I like to end the New Year's with these stories and lessons and things like that. So, but last year I did like 9 days of Bhagavad Gita overview. If I look at the first day videos, they're like massive. Second day drops by a half. Third day drops by a further half. And then it just remains at that level. So, we all have a lot of enthusiasm to do the right things, to start the right things, etc. But what becomes difficult for us is to stay on course. And the irony of this is that you, like, a lot of people, like, they're watching this because you really want to do it. And I respect that, but there's a real difficulty in human life, which is to stay on course. So the irony is that you're signed up for this 5-day program to learn the lessons and to incorporate them for to make the entire 12 months successful next year. And that's what I'm supporting you with, and I'm happy doing that. And I love doing this. I just love doing this. I love my job. uh, but we're unable to stay on course even for 5 days. What to speak of the entire year? But we still think we can make it, and we still think that we will be able to be successful on our own. We'll be able to stay on course on our own, and we still think that we don't need to sign up for any help or coaching. Yes. So now think about, even from the perspective of these 3 lifetimes of Bharat Maharaj, which stage are you at? Even as a king, Bharat, in the first lifetimes, he was hyper focused on his goal, right? He ruled for 10 million years. Every second of those 10 million years, he ruled on behalf of the Lord. He was fully conscious about the Lord and fully conscious of being a servant of the Lord, right? And then he was focused on achieving his goal. He renounced his kingdom, and he goes and he steps out and he does, starts living a renounced life, focused, on his goal of coming out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death, and becoming an eternal servant of the Lord, right? Now, you think about your goal. He's focused on it for 10 million years. And then he's focused on it for the in like towards the end, but then he loses his focus and then he gets attached and then he becomes a deer. Now, even in the body of a deer, he remembers his previous thing and he remembers his goal. And in our bodies, we may not remember exactly, all those details of our past life, but then the propensity of continuing is still going to be there. We'll still have that energy. We're continuing in that, right? Now, even as a deer, he's focused. He remembers. He's like trying to stay focused, right? And then as Jada Bharat, we already talked about some of his activities. Yes. Now, think about yourself. Are you even at those three stages? I don't find myself even at those three lifetimes of Bharat Maharaj. And we may say, oh, he lost focus, then he became a deer and became Jad Bharat. But we think we can act as Jada Bharat. We think we can tune out everything and we can act as Jada Bharat. And therefore, I humbly invite you to follow the steps I have been teaching. But also remember, just knowing the steps is not enough. Following through, working through is extremely important. Now, some of the lessons from Jada Bharat is that he doesn't care about social opinion. He doesn't care about what the world thinks about him. He's focused on what he wants to achieve. He's also detached from a lot of things that please the senses. Now, you have to think about what they are for you at your stage. Don't compare it with Jada Bharat, at what he's trying to do, right? Take the essence of the sensory enjoyments that can distract you at your stage. And therefore, think about that. With Jada Bharat, he didn't want to enjoy good food. He didn't want to get involved with family things. He just wanted to stay like a madman and stay focused on what he's trying to do, right? And he could operate at that level. A lot of us cannot operate at that level. We need a family. We need we need those different things so that we can stay focused. But again, we do all of that with a proper focus and a proper spiritual focus, right? So recognizing your level and staying focused and filtering out the noise. He was fully focused with that one pointed attention. So we need to do that too. And he had a very strong why. And I had taken this metaphor of this, the solar cooker and this concave lens and reflector. And the cooker is put at the focal point of that concave reflector. And then all the light is coming in. And then when it reflects back, it goes through a certain point because, the reflector is concave. And that's where there's maximum heat. So finally, Bharat Maharaj, in his third lifetime, he was able to situate himself properly and stay completely focused. Yes. And for that level of focus, a very strong why is needed, right? You can't sustain that level of focus unless you have a very strong why. He was able to sustain his why over three lifetimes. He wasn't able to sustain that focus over three lifetimes. He lost his focus in the first lifetime, but he was able to sustain his why for three lifetimes. And that why of your 2025 goals needs to be much bigger than money status. It needs to be much softer and much bigger than money and status. Because if your goal is $200 million a year, I don't know what your goal is, but I'm picking out a nice number. Um, uh, and I meet billionaires, and then you find that even billionaires feel that, oh, I only have like maybe 15 billion, I need 150 billion. And now Elon Musk 400 billion, right? So even a billionaire with maybe like 10-15 billion dollars is feeling small in front of Elon Musk. Now that can be a great driver for some time, but it's going to burn you out. So for you to be able to sustain your goals and your focus, you need a strong why. Bharat's strong why, which he sustained over three lifetimes, was to develop unlimited and unlimited attention, uninterrupted attention towards the Lord, to stay focused and to defocus from the material form of life, to connect with the spiritual identity, and to come out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death, and to be used as an instrument in the service of the Lord. Right? Now, what is your why that is bigger than money and status? And some of the whys that I see in my clients are, that beautiful, some people, they came from certain beginnings and then they're like, no, I want to create a beautiful home for my family back home in India, where everyone can live comfortably, right? The why is not the money. The why is the emotions around giving their family some comfort and good life, right? Comfort, right? Another why could be I need to have a bigger place so that my children can play over here, right? Or I want to reach a flexible career stage. I want to, yes, wealth is a means to get there, but I want to build a flexible career stage so that I can take care of my ailing parents, or I can be at a flexible career stage so that I can be more focused on my spiritual goals, right? Or I want to get to a certain stage so that my children can get the best education that I want them to have, right? Or that promotion that I'm trying to reach. But it's not just the promotion, is that okay, if I am at that stage, then I can have that flexible career, then I can be able to be, focus on my spiritual goals, right? So what is your why? Right? Or it's family, it's taking care of your duties, it's taking care of this. And finally, all of these whys connect to the larger why, which is your spiritual growth, right? So that turnover in your company you're trying to reach, but why is that turnover? So that I can do more charity. Or what is, there has to be a stronger why connected to all of these things, and that's what's going to sustain you. And so what is your why that is going to sustain you, that's going to help you filter out the noise, just like Jada Bharat, that's going to help you sustain you even when there are distractions and there are, you fall off off the rails, just like Jada Bharat Maharaj did and got the life of a deer, etc. So what is that why? And for those of you who are watching live, I'd love to hear in the comments below, right? And like, I know a lot of you say that, oh, my why is I want to be like Jada Bharat and I want to stay focused and I want to come out of the cycle of birth, disease, old age, and death. Yes, but there need to be some stepwise whys below that. So because that goal is too high for some of us to jump, and we don't even understand that, we don't even fathom that, right? Like I have a friend who's a great priest, and very learned in the Vedic Indian scriptures, and I learn a lot from him. I talk to him regularly. I learn so much from him. And like once I was talking about this Jada Bharat stage with him, and I was talking about like, wow, I want to be, like a lot of people that I serve and myself, like that's what I've learned, that, we should aim for this liberation. And he goes, we don't even know what that means because we haven't seen it. Yes, it's described in the scriptures, but let's have a mini goal for today and let's stay focused on that. And I loved what he said. So we don't have to have, like, you can have that as your primary end goal, but then there are a lot of sub goals that are there on the way, because we are living these human lives, and we are struggling and we have so many duties and responsibilities. So what is that why of yours that is going to sustain you, that's going to take you ahead in life? And that's what I want you to focus on as you go ahead. Now imagine how different your life would be if you're not, now these whys are there, and there are so many decisions that we have to make in a day. I travel so much, and because I travel so much, I'm alone a lot of times. And when I'm alone, there's so much I have to figure out and so much I have to handle. And then along with that, I have my personal life, I have my travel life, I have my spiritual life, I have my business life. There's so much that I have to navigate, right? And then, and it becomes hard. And then what I try to find is I try to find support for everything, every aspect of these lives, all these different aspects of my life. I try to find support. I have, like, as I've talked about in the last few days, I'm like, just for my business, I have three different ways in which I'm getting help. One is like a massive community that I'm part of, where that helps me stay accountable, where I'm learning things, where I'm getting inspired by other people. I'm able to get answers to my questions about, like, hey, what's the next step? What's the next step for me? The second thing is where I have a monthly membership where I get coaching from, maybe 10 different coaches on different aspects of my business. And it's a couple that runs that whole service, that I get coaching from them also. And then, 10 other coaches for different aspects of my business. I have regular calls with them that I can get onto. And then thirdly, I have this one-on-one business mentor who helps me. So this is just for my business. Then for my spiritual life, I have two people that I'm constant touch with, that I'm getting guidance from, right? About, hey, what's the next step? How do I get there? How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? Uh, And it's not that I can't use my brain. Of course, I'm using my brain, but these are people way ahead of me, and they're able to guide me with the exact steps I need to take. Um, then, for my personal life, I have some people I can reach out to when I need that help, and so on. And coaching for I've just made my mantra in life: just get coaching for everything, because it helps me accelerate, and it helps me optimize on time, and it helps me reach my goals faster. That's what I'm trying to do. And I so have started appreciating that support that I have in my life, because I don't have to struggle alone in so many different aspects of my life to figure out what the next step is, right? Even this setup that I have over here, and I'm not saying I had the best YouTube setup and things like that, but it works, right? And then as I keep traveling, the same lights or the same camera doesn't work. And interestingly, I'd gone to Home Depot to fix the lighting for this place that I'm at right now, and and I waited for like 30 minutes to get help. I was very patient, and then they sent somebody to get help who was part of like the I think he was part of home construction, but he came for lights, and he was like, "I'm not in charge of this, but I can help you." And I said, "Hey, I need help with the studio stuff." And then I need this light, and then he gave me some tips on how to set the light, and I've been doing that, and a lot of people are telling me like, "Hey, it looks much better even on the Zoom calls." And it turned out that he was somebody with 40 years of videography and photography experience, who was now retired, and he was doing working at Home Depot, and now he's my coach for lighting. Of course, we didn't do a very good job yesterday, but that's because we had camera issues. But yeah, he's helped me with the lighting. He's helped me figure out the colors, the softness, the angles, and so many things. And I can meet him every Tuesday at Home Depot and get help from him. So there are so many coaches that I have for different aspects of my life, and that helps me grow much faster. That takes away a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure out of my life. And I want that for you as well, right? So one thing that helps you stay refocused over and over again, that helps you remind your why all the time, is to have more people connected to your journey. And it's not just about having friends and family, it's about having experts in different areas of your life who can help you and who can guide you, and making long term relationships with them. That's what I do. I make long term relationships with all of these coaches. And of course, these are all paid engagements, uh, because it doesn't work otherwise. Um, because that's when both parties are invested in the growth and the goals, right? So when you have those long term relationships, what helps is these people can keep reminding you of your why as well, right? It and the instruction and the guidance and the coaching and the thought partnership, everything becomes very personalized, right? So it's not just like some ideal that is being thrown out to you, or some scripture verse that is being said to you. Everything's being personalized to your situation, and it's help and they're helping you stay on course. They're reminding you of your history, and they're helping you stay on course. They're reminding you of your whys. They're reminding you of the inner scripts that may be distracting you and taking you away, the patterns that you need to stop repeating in your life, and they actually have a roadmap to help you overcome those patterns and things like that, right? Now imagine, as you're trying to stay focused, as you're trying to even stay focused for these 5 days, and like today's day 4. um, it's hard. Life is hard. There are so many distractions. There are so many pressing um, uh, emergencies. There are so many responsibilities that we need to juggle in adult life, right? We can't just like be like Jad Bharat in this lifetime, right? We can't like we can't divorce ourselves from those responsibilities and things like that. So how do you still learn from Jada Bharat to stay focused in spite of everything that's happening around you? And imagine that if you have somebody who supports you through that journey, who's your buddy, who's your coach, who's your thought partner, who's your sounding board, who's protecting you from yourself a lot of times, and who's helping you see the missed opportunities that you have, but they're out there in plain sight, but you're missing them. Who's being your rear view mirror, blind spots, all of that. And imagine how comfortable it will be, how much easier it will be. Even Bharat Maharaj at that very high lifetime took 3 lifetimes to get to his goal. How many do you want to take? That's the question. How many years do you want to take to achieve those mini goals that we have? Yes, and it's something for us to think about. Yes, and some people have written some very nice goals over here. uh, is Pooja is written about her goal, like as I said, having a why that's bigger than just money, right? And like here, she has said that her why is to be able to be authentic self and be honest to herself. And here we have somebody else who's written, selfless why is always enriching. Yes, yes, wonderful. And that's what keeps you focused. Thank you so much for saying that. That's what keeps you focused. That's what keeps you enabled. That's what keeps you excited. That's what helps you wake up in the morning when you are trying to do something bigger and larger in your life than just yourself. Yes. But at the same time, as I discussed on day 2 and day 3, having a strong self is very important so that you can be selfless and so that you can be doing all the wonderful things that you want to do in your own life and your own goals. Now, so part of um, being selfish, it's important for you to be selfish so that you can be selfless. And by selfish, I mean really taking care of those 6 important buckets of your life so that you can go out and give selflessly, right? You can't bring those 6 buckets out of balance and then try to be selfless outside, because then you're a mess. You won't be a great example outside. You'll be a total mess, because those 6 are, those things that keep you focused, that keep you duty bound. And then you learn a lot about yourself in the realm of relationships and duties. You get a lot of feedback then that helps you grow, and those are your duties that strengthen you. The more you do them, the more strengthened you get. Yes. So some things for you to think about. Now look at your own self, like look at your own path. Like we're looking at Bharat Maharaj's life, and we're doing this. Hindsight is always 2020. Always a 2020 vision when you're looking for things in the past. Right now, have a hard look at your own self and your own life. Have you lived in a way that's aligned to meeting your goals? And you're like, no, I learned these lessons, but I didn't follow them. Okay, you learned some lessons like 10 years ago. Are you following them right now? No. Okay, why not? Why haven't you been able to? What is happening? Do you tend to get distracted? Do you forget all these goals that are there? Do you lose focus? Do you give up because it's boring and then you get on to the next thing? Or because there are some old patterns that you're continuing working on because you think you're getting something out of it, because of which you're not able to move ahead. Sometimes victimhood, like I see that a lot because I also run a program on helping people. It's a separate program altogether, and we'll hear more about that maybe next week. Is it's about toxic, sometimes, the program is about heal strong from toxic narcissistic relationships. But a lot of times, what we see also there is that, and not just there, for a lot of people in life, we know we want to break out of that pattern, we want to come out, but sometimes staying as a victim is easier, because there's a lot of hard work involved in transforming. There's a lot of risk involved in how people will perceive you and how things will change for you, right? And how the environment will change. So sometimes, the familiar is where we continue staying, even if it's victimhood and even if it's not serving us really well, because we're probably getting something over there. And it's probably easier for us, even if it's actually much harder to stay over there, right? So it's all about perception. So sometimes we continue, like when you're having a hard look at yourself, think about, why are you continuing in those patterns even when 10 years ago you knew that this was not helping you? Why are you continuing? Because we're getting something. We don't continue in something unless we're getting something out of it. I actually had one person reach out to me through great recommendations from my spiritual mentor that, Namita, I really want to join your program. And like, I think you have the solution to help me and things like that. And she was talking about the toxic narcissistic abuse recovery program that I have, Heal Strong. And she came to me. We had a meeting. I explained to her about my coaching and, all of these different things. And then she said, yeah, I'll get back to you. Let me know, how do I need to make the payment? And I said, great. Um, and then we followed up with her after a week because we didn't hear anything. And then after we followed up just to check in how she's doing, does she have any questions? Because she's like, yeah, send me the contract, I'll e-sign it, I'll do this, I'll do that, and like, I really need you in my life. And then she goes, um, I don't think I want to work so hard. This sounds like too much work, working on myself. um, you know, I just rather continue and like just navigate every single day. But this just sounds too much hard work. And what was that? Navigating every single day meant every interaction with the husband, she would be crying. She wouldn't be sleeping at night. She was losing her schedule. She wasn't able to take care of her children properly. She wasn't able to take care of her own business that she was running really well. But she made that choice to continue in that setup because she found that easier to navigate than the work of working on yourself and coming out of that situation. So a lot of times the pain, we think, but it's not like that. The pain of staying in that situation, the cost of staying in that situation is 100x compared to the effort and the investment it takes in working on yourself and getting help for yourself, because it's hard to stay focused and do it on your own. I don't do it on my own all the time myself either. I've just talked about it, right? So have your methods helped you so far? Are you aligned to meeting your goals? If not, why? And have your current methods. So this lady, I'm not judging her for it. She did what worked for her. But is it going to help her in the long run? Maybe not, right? Will it really help her reach her full potential? Will it help her be happy? Will it help her have good health? Will it help her sleep better? Will it help her show up as a emotionally available parent to her children? No, because she's disturbed. And I feel sorry for her and I pray for her that she does better in her life, right? But a lot of times we're making these choices. Now, what is the choice you're making about staying in the same place versus actually making the transformation with the steps that I have given to you and the support that is available for you? So, if you're ready to overcome your distractions and you understand the need for support, I highly encourage you to join the Self Mastery Academy. And I'm just sharing the link here with all of you. We have coaching support available at different tiers depending on different levels of service. You can get direct coaching with me being your coach, watching out for you. And when I'm your coach, I'm really watching out for you. I am picking on a lot of things. Just this before this session, I sent out a text to one of my clients because I picked on something when I met her on Saturday along with her family, and I saw some of the dynamics in the interaction over there, and then I observed something, and I thought that no, let me send this insight to her because it's going to help her come out of this pattern, right? And like now she's like, wow, I never thought about it, and now we're going to work towards coming out of it, right? So when you sign up with me as a coach or with any team member of mine, that's the level of support you're getting. Somebody there for you, watching out for you, doing your work. And we have these different tiers with platinum plus, platinum, and gold. So depending upon where you're at and what level of service you need, you have these three different options to sign up with us. Gold is group coaching calls with me twice a month. Platinum is group coaching calls with me plus, so everything you get in gold, plus one-on-one coaching session with a team is coach is certified by me, and we jointly make strategies. We're always in touch with each other, checking on each client's progress. And I know everything that's happening in platinum, and my coaches are fantastic. They are amazing. They themselves are very accomplished people in their life, and they're doing very well in their lives, and they are following the ease model of coaching, and they're really there to support people and help them grow. Give you the space to be yourself, and at the same time ask you those questions, show you your scripts like what I was observing from one of my clients, and so on. And imagine what that support would do to you in your life. How would that transform your life? And we do all of this without making you dependent on us. It's not that we want you to come and like you ask us a question and we keep answering. No, we're doing this to empower you, to help you grow, right? And then we have Platinum Plus, which is because I have limited time. So I only take on a few clients. And if you want me to be your coach, then you could sign up for Platinum Plus. But either way, get a coach. Either way, sign up for the Self Mastery Academy at the level at which you think you need the service, and you according to your needs and your financial situation. Another thing is that, which I forgot to mention, is that all that you do, like all those people who join any of my programs, any of my courses, any of my programs, I want you to know that percentage of my profits from the ease programs are diverted towards charitable endeavors regularly in a committed fashion, uh, towards education, free meals, animal care, water conservation, and many more things for underserved communities. Yes. So, uh, while I do this, and and not just me, even my team, we're all very purpose driven over here. This is our strong why that keeps us focused in spite of the highs and lows that come in any kind of work that you're trying to do. Is our purpose is that to share this Vedic wisdom and this knowledge in a way in which people can understand and apply in their lives through coaching, to a blend of Eastern wisdom and Western psychology to help you grow. And secondly, to also support all these underserved communities in in their difficulties and what they're doing. So we divert a lot of profits towards that, and a lot of what my coaches earn also through all of this, they themselves do their own charity. So yeah, we're a very purpose driven organization trying to bring ease, that's emotional awareness, spirituality, and excellence in people's lives. And I want you to know that when you sign up for any of my programs, this is another thing that happens. And you get a coach who's dedicated to your growth, helping you build your strength, a sounding board and thought partner, protecting you from acting out your unhelpful scripts, showing you missed opportunities. Think about the time when you actually made a decision making error. And what if you had a coach by your side with whom you could discuss it in a dispassionate way, and who would actually help you see through things and help you make the right decision? Imagine the cost of that decision, or the cost of that missed opportunity that you led by. When you're thinking about getting hiring a coach, think about it as an investment, because it's going to help you save a lot of money, and it's also going to help you grow financially as well. Like this coach, the company that I talked to you about, that I'm on with, where I get like at least 10 coaching calls in a week, with that company, I mean, I pay top dollar for that, right? But it's just that one call, I ended up saving $1,500 a month for something that I was investing in the business, and I could reinvest it in a separate way. And and I would think I'm a really smart person, but these are insights coming from an expert that really saves the day for me, right? And it just helped me so much in so many different ways. And in rebringing that and investing that Lakshmi back into the business, so that I could grow and I could take this knowledge and message to so many more people outside, right? So I may think, oh, I'm paying top dollar for this person, but no, I'm ending up saving so much. And I'm not just ending up saving so much, I'm ending up earning so much, right? And it's helping me support my why, which I've just shared with you. And you can show you the missed opportunities, someone you can reach out on text when you meet challenges and ideas during the day, and you're getting coached. You're working through your scripts, you're working through your weaknesses, your vulnerabilities, your whys, your demands in life that distract you, the the disasterization that we do for everything, the demands that I must get love and approval from everyone, the demands that life must be in a certain way. And they're helping you see through all that, and very gently, with a lot of love, with a lot of affection, with a lot of support and acceptance, they're helping you, nudging you, navigating you, and celebrating for you and cheering for you, right? And for those of you who sign up before December 29th, you do get, you unlock special bonuses worth $1,000, which is bonus one is exclusive access to the ancestral healing, deaths, and trauma course, which is worth $500. And you also get a guided meditation to connect with your ancestors and their energy along with that. And why is this important? Because a lot of times it's not your own patterns that you're acting out a lot of the karmic debts and patterns, etc., and the trauma that's coming passed down through your gene pool and passed down through the morphic resonance of your family field. And that's something that you want to overcome. And this course helps you with that. And I've seen so many people's lives change, so many opportunities come to them as soon as they heal all of that. One person got 6 job offers. I'm not kidding, just by following what was recommended in that course. And bonus two is you get 25% off the VIP ticket prices for my upcoming retreats. I'm planning something for Seattle, though that's not confirmed yet, but there's definitely one happening in India, and there's definitely one happening in Turkey. I love Turkey. Been trying to do these things for some time, but now I think my schedule and my life is kind of coming in play. Uh, and I plan to do these things. So I think Turkey would be around sometime in September. And the India one would, I have to just check the season because it gets too hot, but it'll probably be in May or June. And these would be very focused, very coaching retreats with a lot of history, a lot of culture, and a lot of spirituality. So those of you who are becoming members of the Self Mastery Academy with these monthly group coaching programs, you will get 25% off the VIP ticket. So you'll get a special member price with us. And bonus three is, I don't have all of them on my table, but you're going to get these. Whoever joins the program is going to get these flashcards from us that take charge of your emotions. And this is like an old one, but you get it nicely packaged. And I can't find it on my desk, but you get that. The Take Charge of Your Emotions flashcards to help you be in touch with your emotions every single day, understand your own feelings, understand your own needs, and learn how to overcome them. Because a lot of times we're not in touch with our feelings and needs, and we get distracted by all that's happening around us. So these cards are going to help you. And plus, I have 7 day self-love affirmation cards, because if you're a leader, you're trying to grow in your life, you're trying to glow in your life, all of us need self-love, because that's from there a lot of our good performance can come. When we are not berating ourselves, when we are not killing ourselves over our failures, when we are not when we are learning how to be more compassionate to ourselves and our life and our situation and our efforts, is from there a lot of energy for growth and achievement and sustained focus comes. And so you're going to get these two beautiful flashcards gifts from me, worth $35, including shipping. So we ship in US and India right now. That's where we know how to ship. And then the others we're going to add gradually, but we will make sure it reaches you in some way if you're in a different country. Yes. So that's we will keep that in mind. So you get all of these bonuses worth at least $1,000 when you join the Self Mastery Academy, and you have the link and you have the place where you can join. So the link to join the Self Mastery Academy is there in the comments, it's there in the description wherever you're watching this. And if you're joined my email, you also get that. And for those of you who are looking to try out, I'm also doing a VIP Q&A session very soon on December 28th. So for those of you who want to experience um, this coaching with us, and those of you who want to get coached, and you have a lot of questions over the next 5 days, like these 5 days that I'm doing, and you want to get clarity on those questions so that you can implement these lessons on January 2025, or those of you who want to try out coaching with me and my team before you join the Self Mastery Academy, I am doing a VIP Q&A session, and I'm just trying to pull up the link for that. That Q&A session is on December 28th, 8 a.m. PST. It's on Zoom, so it's 8 a.m. PST, which is 9:30 p.m. IST, and I think it's 4 p.m. GMT, UK time. So for those of you who are interested in that, and that's all for $49 a month. Not a month, sorry, it's just $49 for one session, and your one question will be coached on that question that you have for us, and you will get the benefit, and you will get that plan. You will be able to get that personalized experience, that personalized support and guidance that you get when you sign up for coaching with us, and you will experience that, right? So I'm just sharing that to the screen with you here. So here we go. So this is what you get when you sign up for the VIP session. You get personalized guidance directly from me. I'll be coaching you on that day. There'll be group coaching with me. You will also see me with others, and you will learn from the questions that others are asking and the coaching that they're getting too. So it's actually great to, I love group work because how much it benefits all of us, right? And then you get exclusive access to like minded individuals who are trying to work on themselves and grow, right? So we have limited spots. And for those of you who are interested, you could also sign up for that. And lastly, I want to show you some reviews of our work so that you get some confidence, which is, we've coached many people, and I'm just trying to show you the clients that we serve they lead in top companies around the world, whether they come to us for life coaching or they come to us for leadership coaching. They're leading in top companies around the world, right? They're leaders in those companies, whether it's Amazon, Google, Uber, Walmart, Lennox, Honeywell, and so many more companies. We just I was able to get the logos for these, and these are some of the reviews we have on, and you could see them publicly on my LinkedIn. You could see that on my Google, but these are all like VPs, directors, CEOs of business owners, and who understand that investing in coaching is very important. So that's where we are at, and I'll stop sharing screen here so that I can say my last goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow. I had to postpone the timing today because I mean jet lag's still killing me. It's been a week, and I usually never get jet lagged, and I don't know what happened this time. Uh, so tomorrow it'll be at the last day where we're going to conclude Jada Bharat's story and the destination he achieves. And there is one very interesting pastime that happens between today and him achieving his destination, which is with a king. And this is somebody who used to be a king 2 lifetimes ago. And now he's interacting with another king, and like, the beautiful wisdom that he shares with him. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to wrap up with the lessons from all the different days. We're going to wrap up with you making a plan for yourself. And we're going to wrap up with an invitation to you to join the coaching or the VIP session with us. And I'm so happy to get a chance. Thank you so much, all of you, for giving me a chance to serve you in this way. I love doing this, and I love it when I have people participating and who are truly working on themselves. I love sharing coaching tips and techniques based on Eastern wisdom and Western psychology, and I'm so grateful to you. And thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to do that. Thank you, and see you.